Hello all. Right, I think Saturday and Sunday this week. Yeah, I didn't put too many out this week because it just sometimes this week just runs away with you. And I got finished early today. I started early. I was up at 3:30. I 1 minute past 4 I started because I've signed the waiver on a work time directive, but it just saves it beeping up on a card on what's it called, on Taco Master. And I finished early. And I thought, great, I can get everything done. I went and had a haircut, and I watered the garden, and then I just sat and watched TV for an hour. Because sometimes, that's a bit high, sometimes it's nice just to do nothing. So as a result of which, I'm now trying to get this one in quickly, but you'll hear the Mini go past, and that's the missus coming home from work, in which case I'll have to stop. But what I'll try and do is I'll try and get up to miscellaneous, and then we'll do miscellaneous for Sunday. Hey, there you go. So, right, as an opener, UK Fuels have just pinged me £1.10. Does that sound dear to you? Every week it goes up by a penny. I mean, I know, like, you know, it got cheap and then it got dear. I know Ian Merrick, you're probably out there going, but he's doing the thing for you boys. He's trying to sort something out for you. But and I know I probably should make more effort. But like I say, time just seems to run away with you where it goes. I don't know. It's magical, isn't it? So right. So today's Saturday Q&A. A couple of new people have arrived. Big hello to Urban Trucker, who's been watching a few videos and done some a few comments, and Expedition Dean. And there's some new names on the channel here. So yeah, there's some things to say, which, as always, what I tend to do is I tend to pass this information on. And if I've got something to say about it, I do. And if I don't, I just pass it on, and hopefully you guys can learn or dissect accordingly, like, you know. We did one about, you know, the old idea of when you get jobs out to sort of Guernsey or Jersey. It all started when I did the video about Europe, and I don't really know about Europe, so I haven't really done it, like, you know. But Urban Trucker says, when it comes down to small island jobs, because someone pinged up, he said, what about the small islands? He said, there are a couple of companies in Portsmouth that specialise in Isle of Wight and Channel Islands called Ferry Speed, and the Steve Porter Group. He said, I would personally get them to deliver it because getting a load out of the Channel Islands is like trying to find rocking horse. And I can't read the last word. I don't know. It's just gone smudged. Yeah, and also, yeah, I should put that in conclusion. I mean, also, thanks very much for the tip on the train horns. If I do decide to, you know, you get the train horn. If I do decide to change the truck over, I am going to get a train horn. But the thing is, I like Alice, and we're very happy together. And the money I'm making in my 7.5 tonne, I might have to drive further for it, but my diesel bill's the same. It's coming in the same. No one wants to give me anything for it. I love my lorry, and I'm starting to question. I'm looking out there going, oh, I can buy a truck which is £5,000 more than what I'm going to sell mine for, and it's only done 200,000 miles more than mine has. And you think, why bother changing? I'm happy. I'm doing the thing. There's just this thing in my head, which is I pass the 18 tonne, so I should therefore be driving an 18 tonne. Or what if I pass the 18 tonne and never drive an 18 tonne? I'm happy in my truck. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, so he said about that one, and also, and this is definitely, it's quite a long one, this guy, so bear with me, but I think it's worth passing on, like, you know. He said, we did one about overloading. He said, regarding overloading, the Dvsa are hot on it now. Now, when I did my CPC, the guy on the CPC said it used to be Dvsa. And Dvsa used to be like old people who were, you know, sort of seasoned professionals who would put it to one side and say, you're doing it wrong, son. Don't do it wrong anymore. He said, now it's become a lot more about the money. That's not strapped down, that's £100. That's not strapped down, that's £300. That's overweight, so. But he turned around and he said, you know, just your paper's got a bit of order there. He said, regarding the Dvsa hotning now, he said the road weighing system they use is called weigh-in motion sensors, WIMS. And it's highly sophisticated piece of kit. It weighs each axle as you pass over it and uses ANPR cameras to send that information to the nearest Dvsa enforcement officer so they can intercept overloaded vehicles. That's dead clever. Because if you're going over something at 60 miles an hour, that's got to be pretty precise to weigh you as you're going over at 60 miles an hour. You know, I've often thought about it. When you go over a 7.5 tonne weight bridge, if you went over it fast enough, could you go over it at 18 tonne? I mean, if it was made of paper, but if you went over at the speed of light, the chances are it probably wouldn't damage the bridge. So, but that's, I mean, I'm sure they have got it, like, you know. He says, and I love this as well, he says, I don't know where they're located, it's a bit of a secret. I believe there's about 12 in the UK. He said, the ones I know, on the M25, the Dartford crossing, M25 near Leatherhead, M4 near Junction 18, M6 near Perry Bar, and there are rumours there's one near the Blackwall Tunnel going towards Greenwich, and one near the M3, MA34 area. If anyone knows any better and wants to pass this information on, please pass it on. It won't stop me driving over them because I just don't overload. It's just easier. I can't be doing any ag. But, you know, I'm going to put it out there because that's what we do. We just sort of share the knowledge, you know. He said the 10% thing about being 10% overweight, he said, is a myth. It's more like 5%. You'll get a telling off for that. Anything that's up to 30% and you're looking at fines, fines and vehicle prohibitions over 30%. If you're over 30% of your laden weight, he says, and you're looking coming before the traffic commissioner, which nobody wants. And he said more, you know, that could be your O license and all that kind of stuff. He says, and also this is another very good point. Sorry if I'm a bit way with the fairies. You know, it's been a long day. He says check your axle weights as well. Which is a very good point as well. He said because what we tend to do with the trucks, what I tend to do with the trucks, you get a bit lazy. The guy turns around, he says, I've got 4 pallets. It's going to be like, you know, 500 kilos a pallet, 2 tons. So you whip the curtain open and you get to load the pallets 1, 2, 3, 4 up against the bulkhead. Because they're load bearing curtains, they're up against the bulkhead. You can just strap the last one. Job done, like, you know. But if you're going to put 2 ton on the front, you're going to be over your front axle weight. So the best thing to do is to go 1, 2, 3, 4 down the middle. The only problem with doing this is when you go around corners, pallets have a tendency to go like that. Now if they're next to each other at the front, taking up the full space against the load bearing curtains, they don't move very far. What you can find, and you can put straps over all you like, but they go over on an arch, kind of, I can't really do that, like that. It doesn't push it in. So then you've got more, so you think, well, if I do it that way, when I get to unload it, I've got more chance of opening it and it's all gone a bit sideways. So just stick them up the front. But no, he is dead right. He says, and you've got to be very careful with your axle weights. He said this is where a lot of people get it horribly wrong. If you've got a 7.5 ton carry, you can carry 2.5 tons. 2 pallets weighing, you know, 1,250 kilos, like 2 pallets of coke or something like that, up against the headboard, you're overloading your front axle, and you will get prosecuted and fines if you're stopped. Drivers need to make sure they distribute the weight across the vehicle. So there you go. Like I said before, I can understand why we do it. It's sheer laziness. I've actually had sensible fork truck drivers turn around to me and say, do you want this down the middle, mate? Because you're on your axle weights. And I tend to go, actually, yeah, I do. And because I'm still a newbie, I'm still learning, I'm still trying to get it right, but passing it all on. So that's Urban Trucker, and there's a few others that are coming up, might come up tomorrow. Mate, welcome to the channel. Thanks for the input. Any input anyone wants to give us, the people that know much better than me, the wise guys, who's one of the wise guys, I'm happy to pass it on. That's kind of what I do. Right, there's also some stuff from Expedition Dean, and I'm going to say, you know, I'm just going to tell it like it is. He said, I worry these videos glorify it a bit. He said the industry is hard going. For example, you get a job from Nottingham to Manchester, we'll pay around £45 in a small van. There's a good 2 hours there and 2 hours back. Take an hour for breaks, loading, offloading, paperwork is document for argument's sake. That is 45 quid. Take off your fuel at 20 quid. That's like £20 for 5 hours drive and expenditure and all this kind of stuff. I take your point. It's not quite the way I would go about it, I'll be honest with you. In the fact to say, I mean, I know that small van jobs I always say get a little with the curtain and a tail lift, because small van jobs to me, I struggle to see how they pay. But then again, I wouldn't necessarily take those jobs. I would focus on smaller jobs, less time and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, but I do take your point that sometimes it might come across a little bit rosy. What I would always say when it comes down to this is all I've ever done with the channel is just basically told you how it is, how I see it. And I've said all the way along, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm talking about. Everything that I say is largely wrong, or, you know, or at least massively inaccurate. Also, when it comes down to the exchange, I've always said it's not a magic wand. No one is going to knock on your door and give you a load of money, and you get out what you put in. And I also do believe there are people out there running in small vans that are making money on the exchange. I've also said all the way along. Also, really, the the holy grail. You want your own customers. The exchange is really a backload platform. You get the good money going out there, and then rather than coming out empty, you get something back which covers your costs. That's the way I try and put it across, but I can understand that sometimes the videos do come across rosy. I have done videos saying about, you know, that it isn't always clever, and sometimes it does go badly wrong, but I think I'm kind of facing the Simon and Garfunkel problem, which is like the a man hears what he wants to hear and disregards the rest. And what you can do is you can turn around and say, right, okay, what you've got to do is you've got to swim through the snake pit and then across the shark infested ocean and then trek across, you know, run across the 25 miles of 1,000-degree desert and then climb over the volcano, and at the end of it there's £1,000 in a bag. And someone turns around and goes, oh, £1,000 in a bag. They don't hear the bit that comes before it, and I do say it, but sometimes, guys, listen to what I'm saying. It's not that easy. And also the other problem I always had is people have got funny mirrors, in the fact that when we started doing that Van Gogh thing, you know, what I'll probably come to later on, the subcontracting thing, which is when we always took them on, they go, oh yeah, I'm going to work every hour God sends. I'm going to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to work till like midnight. And then you look at the app, and at 9:30 in the morning, they're logging on. You think, I've done my first job by now. People have funny mirrors. But all I will do is I will tell you it how I saw it and how it worked out for me. So, but then to try and do a bit of balance here, Expedition Dean says, I wouldn't bother. He said, I'd done the exchange for 6 years and eventually packed it in because the work became ridiculous. It was okay 6 years ago, but van prices have hiked up. Diesel is high. Literally every single outgoing is higher than it was 6 years ago. The pay per mile has stayed the same. I would say that's right. The pay per mile for the last 3 years has stayed the same. Vans get dearer, insurance gets dearer, things get dearer. You ain't get paid no more money. So whether that's down to competition or whether that's just down to because that's the way it is, I don't know. He said, I've noticed places like Crewe, 190 miles go for £74. That's ridiculous. The other thing I will say, just briefly, is you charge them what you're happy paying. My mate Dave the Chris says there is plenty of work for those who are prepared to work for nothing. Just because it says it's London to Edinburgh, job pays 50 quid. No, it doesn't. You look at it, you go, no, it doesn't. You ain't going to get that off. If there was some kind of solidarity, and we went, no, it doesn't. You're going to have to get back to your customer and say that he's crazy if he thinks that someone is going to move something from London to Edinburgh from a garret. Then you'll go. Then eventually the prices will clock up. But all I have done all the way along is just shared my personal experiences and passed on what other people have told me. So, but I understand if you have a fear that sometimes the channel does glorify it. It's never my intention. I'm sorry if it does. Read between the lines. You do you. Right, so this week, because I know that Minnie's coming in sometime soon. I'd like to see her Friday night. We call it on Friday night, yeah? Did one on subcontracting. Started this in the beginning, had this genius idea of how I was going to, well, it was Al's idea, but I can't blame him because it was still, I thought, a genius idea. As it turned out, it was a genius idea that had been tried before me and will be tried after me, and to be honest with you, it's not a genius idea. The idea that if you're buying things at wholesale prices, you can get other people involved. It's just a headache for everybody. But James 186 says, great insight. He basically says, thanks for sharing and thanks for the videos. Mate, my genuine pleasure. That's what I do. I hope it helps. Domain name guy. He says, going back to how it used to be, like parcel companies employing drivers, but because the employers went down a route of fobbing off routes to people, yeah, there is that thing that sometimes you get rid of the routes that you don't want on the exchange. You know, you've got all your lovely little tidy routes to make money, and then you've got the one that, oh, that's a bit of a pain, that's difficult to find, that's far apart, I'll just stick that one on the exchange. And that is, again, coming back to it, Dean, try not to put too fine, you know, try and make it too shiny. Sometimes you'll find certain jobs will go on the exchange because people don't want to do them. When you've been on it a little while, the alarm signs come up and you go, oh, that's going to, I know where that's going to, that's a pain. Oh, that's picking up at that time in the morning from there. Oh, that's a pain. Although I had one this week, picking up from Slough at like 6 in the morning, and suddenly, that's the car. And I thought, oh dear, what have I done here? It's absolute doddle. it said it was 1,800 kilos. It was 180 kilos. Someone had made a mistake. It was 10 boxes. Whizzed it down. Job done. Anyway, I'm going to speed through this, guys. Yeah, something about my domain name guy. Thanks very much. The message saying I'm going to speed through this. Jay-Z said I'd give Ken Loach a call. I watched that. Sorry, I missed you. I thought it was a good film. I like Ken Loach's films. I particularly liked the one before it with the food bank. Can't remember what it's called. And that Scottish guy, I like him. But there were certain bits I kind of thought, are we going to charge you 250 quid because you didn't deliver a passport on time? I'm thinking, I've never actually come across that. So, but yeah, there's a little bit of Ken Loach going on there. I can't help feeling it was a good film, if not 100% accurate. Although I didn't disagree with the principle of it all. And finally, Kenneth McKenzie says, "Hi Pete." He says, "Nice one, mate. Maybe this helps." He said, "Oh, he's because he was thinking about trying to get his son started." He said, "Pete, can you ask the guys if they can suggest because we did about the subcontracting, maybe getting his son started. Your son could still do it. You could still do small fleet. If there's just two of you, you could work it together. It wouldn't be that painful." So, and just a quick question to the boys. He said, "Can anyone suggest an invoicing factoring company that deals with sole traders? The few I've contacted with will only deal with limited company. I'm with Skipton's and I'm not a limited company, but I think I just got on the boat before it sailed. And I know that I don't think Skipton's have been very forthcoming. Basically Skipton's wanted to deal with companies that deal, but by the time we were with Skipton's, we were bringing a few quid in, so it didn't really matter." He says, "Stay strong, take care, take money." So if anyone knows of a factoring company, I know BB tried to do it back in the day, but I don't think that went down so well, of a factoring company that sort of actually supports like the courier exchange kind of people. If you want to pass it on to me, I'll pass it on to everybody else. In the meantime, I know I've rushed for it. Sorry guys, I kind of have been up against it, but the lovely lady in my life is now home, so I am going to take care and take money. I'll do another one tomorrow. Cheers guys. There you go.